Hi guys, welcome to another episode on the channel. Ignore my dirty face because I have been painting and I think I've got a little bit of lacquer stuck on my face there. Right, as you can see behind me, the Fiat Coupe is now all painted. In this episode we will be prepping the bodywork, getting rid of all the dents, priming it, flattening the primer down, and then giving the car a good coat of paint. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button because quite a few of you that watch these are not subscribed, so that would be grateful if you could do that for me. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the episode and speak to you in a minute. What I'm just doing now is using the orbital sander just to get a better key onto the surface where I'm going to be putting the filler, just to make it adhere a little bit better. And I have now purchased a brand new tool. This is a nice little Dremel which I've ordered. I think I paid about £70 for it. But a whole bunch of different attachments to go with it. So in little tight to reach areas like this, it's a lot easier to remove all the rust. Now what I'm just doing, there was a broken bolt there, so I'm just drilling and retapping it. So over the last probably a week, the car has been stripped down. I'm yet to prepare all the parts I've taken off. They're going to be done after I have done the body. But I have been around the whole car, got rid of I think pretty much all the dents I could possibly find. There's been a few little rust spots which I've had to nib down and touch in. So let's have a walk around and I'll tell you what I've done. So we'll start at the front end. All the dents that I marked up last time on the bonnet, they've all been done, filled in. I've rubbed down the whole bonnet. We also can say hello to Sadie in this episode. She's come to work because she's been a little bugger at home and she's barking during the day when she's on her own. So that's her little hint to she wants to come to work with me. So right, back to the subject. The hardest dent to do was this one here because it had actually pushed the bonnet out up to there and there was all sort of creases and dents. So I had to sort of hammer them all flat, fill them in, and now we are back to being a nice flat bit of panel. We did have a little bit of rust coming through here, so that's all been treated, filled, and all underneath has been treated as well. I didn't find many dents on this door. There was probably about 3 or 4. That wasn't bad to do at all. Big dent along here. It was quite a pain in the backside actually, because again, like with the front dent on the bonnet, it had rippled the panel, so I had to hammer it all back into shape, and then a couple of coats of filler, and it was all done. I've also treated all underneath the arches. I've grinded all the rust away, retreated it, and now once it's cleaned off we can give it a nice coat of acid etch on all the metal which is showing. A little dent here turned out to be quite big actually. It was quite a large dent indeed. Rear light's not a problem to prepare that area in there. Found a little bit of rust here which I've treated. I'm going to be sanding and painting all inside here. I have given it a quick once over, but I do need to do it again. The dents that were around here have all gone, and that little bit of rust has been treated as well. Again, there was another big dent here, which has all been sanded down and filled. This was the worst door. There was probably about 5 or 6 little dents on there which had been nibbed away. And the roof was perfectly fine. There was just one massive stone chip here, which I had to sand down. So now, let's get the car outside, clean it off, and let's get it all maxed up today, and fingers crossed I can get it in some primer as well. What I'm just doing here is a few little tar spots that I've missed that still hadn't been sanded out, so just using a light grit sandpaper just to get rid of them. There's just a few around, and found them all in the end, and now they're all gone. So the whole point of washing it is just to get rid of as much dust and contaminants as possible. Now I need to thoroughly dry the car. I'm going to go it over with a few rags, and then I'm going to get the airline in all the crevices to make sure everything's nice and dry. And then once it's in the booth and masked up, all the bare bits of metal, I can then put some acid etch on. Right, car is now in the booth. I have dried it all off. I'm now going to be about to mask it all up, but I am going to do it off camera, so we shall just jump cut to a nicely masked car. Now the morning after, we are now all masked up, so what I need to do now is give it a final degrease and a wipe over with some tack cloths, and then we can get this primer on. Can't believe I've missed a dent as big as that. Oh well, I expected a few dents that I'd have to sort out, but not one quite that big. Right, now the following day again, all primered and all ready to go. Let's just show you. So everything's been covered in primer. I've also put an etch coat on it, just so I can now flat it all back and get the primer nice and smooth, ready for the paint. Now when I flat this back, I am going to dry flat it, because it's a lot quicker, it's a lot less messier. Yes, it's dustier, but it's a lot less messier. So what I'll do is I'll flat it all in the booth, then clean the booth out again, make sure it's all dust free, and then we can crack on to painting it. So let's get cracking with flattening the car down. It's going to take me a good few hours, I'd imagine. Now, what I've started doing all over the car is flattening it back. So what I'm doing is using a flat pad with a 400, 500 grit sandpaper on there. And I'm just sanding it back. As you can see, it all starts to smooth out. You can see how rippled some of the primer was. So carry on sanding. Until it goes nice and smooth like that. Yes, there might be some little bits of black left in there, but we're not going for a show paint job. We just want nice smooth primer to work with. So leave me to crack on doing all this, and I will get the rest of the car done. I've got the driver's side left to do, and I have got the boot lid to do. Right, it's now a few hours later and I have finished doing most of the rubbing down, but one of the reasons why you do this is so you can see things like that. As you can see, where I've passed the flat sander over it, it's left that there, which means there's a dip in the bodywork and there's a dent that I couldn't quite feel, but now I can. So I need to get some very slim putty and pop some in that dent there and give the whole booth a good de-dusting, and then on to the next stage. So there we go, it is now all painted. I never bother recording loads of it because it's quite boring footage for you to watch. So I've managed to also finish prepping the rear bumper, the front arches and wing mirrors and a few other bits and bobs. So they're all in there with the rest of the car now. So I'm going to give that a few days to harden up. I've also managed to start prepping this front bumper, but there were a few sort of small gouges and stuff like that in it. So in the next episode we will be getting this front bumper painted and hopefully demasking the other car and popping it all back together. And we are pretty much there. I am still waiting for the exhaust, and I've probably got to order a few new badges and stuff if I can get them, but we are getting really close on this one. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because I'm looking at the stats on these videos and there's about 80% of my viewers aren't subscribed, so I do really want to try and get my subscriber base way up there. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that like as well, and I shall see you in the next video.